What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. On this episode, I'm going to dig into a couple questions I've had in the comment section of my videos. Mainly because I deal with pretty much, all 70s cars. 90% of my collection is 70s vehicles, and they've seen me in the trunk move these jacks around, these old bumper jacks. And some of the youngins in the chats ask, one, what are these things? And two, how you use them. So you know what? I figured I would do a little demonstration today using Miss Mabel as kind of like our stand-in car and show you the way we did it back then. So, we'll paint the scenario that we're bebopping down the highway, listening to our, AM radio or our 8 tracks, and then boom, we have a blowout and we have to change the tire using one of those. So I'm going to show you how that's done real quick. Okay, guys, as many of you know, long before floor jacks and screw jacks and fancy hydraulic jacks and bottle jacks and all the jazz that we have now, we had bumper jacks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up here, act as if Miss Mabel has a flat tire, and we're going to, take the tire off, change it, put it back on with one of these. So first off, I guess I'll start with answering the question, how do you attach these to the cars? Well, there were a couple different ways you could do it. They had some larger jacks that are just like this, but they're a little bit bigger, that would come with trucks or larger vehicles. And those generally had a bigger loop in the bottom to where you could attach to the actual bottom of the bumper, jack your car up and down. Now for the, the passenger cars, the sedans, the coupes, things of those natures, they had what were called coin slots actually built in to the bumper that jack would attach to. And I'll show you a couple real quick. So on Miss Mabel, for example, if you look on the bumper, way down here, you'll have a coin slot there, and you will have a coin slot here. And you'll have one of those on all 4 corners of the car. So same with my RT, I'll show you this. So the RT is gonna have the same slots. See, there's one there, and then obviously there's one over there on that corner, but they also have them on the rear bumper of the cars as well. So I'll show you one of those, and they are right there. One on this corner and one on that corner over there. So I'm sure some of you are asking, well, what about, the bigger cars? Let's say Homer, for instance. Homer still has his factory rear bumper, so I'll show you that real quick. So here's Homer's right here on this corner, and then he'll obviously have one over there. Now, I don't have a bigger car here right now. I actually have a New Yorker that has the bigger jack to where it would actually mount on its bumper, but it would go underneath here and hook, and then you would jack from underneath here to where it'd have a little bit more of a bite on the meat of the bumper itself. All right, so I guess what we'll do now is we'll go ahead. I guess I'll just do the front. I mean, the front and the back, it really doesn't matter. I'll go ahead and do the front here because the lighting's a little bit better, and I'll show you how to attach that jack. And we'll go ahead and jack this car up, get it into a scenario. Let's say we had a flat tire, right? Because, obviously you had a tire iron as well that would fit to the lug nuts of the vehicle. So essentially what I'll do is I'll just set you up and show you the entire scenario of how we would do this. So give me a second. Okay, like I said, so let's just put this into like a scenario real quick. You're driving down the road, bebopping, listen to your 8 track, and boom. So you pull over to the side of the road. You get out, you have to get in the trunk, and you have to get your bumper jack and your tire iron out. So you would come around the corner and say, oh no, my tire's flat. So here we go, show you what we would do. So the first thing you would do is you would take your tire iron, one end's for your lug nuts, and one end is kind of like a flathead screwdriver, right? This end here is actually used to go inside your jack and or remove your hubcaps. Remember, the majority of the vehicles back then had hubcaps. So you would stick this in, pop your cap loose. Now this also doubles as kind of a bowl or a holder for your lug nuts. So you would generally set this off to the side. And remember, you got to break your lug nuts loose first, right? So you'd stick your lug wrench on. I'm not going to do this all 5 on the camera, but you'd essentially just break all 5 of your lugs loose. Good night. So the scenario would be you'd have all your lug nuts loose already, and then you would take your bumper jack and install it. So let me set you up here, and I'll show you how you're going to install your bumper jack. Okay, I know it's going to be hard to see me and see the work at the same time, so I'm just going to focus here on the work. So first thing you do is you'd find your coin slot, which mine is right here. Set your shoe on the ground. And then your jack, which looks just like this, is gonna have this hook on the front of your jack. This is going to actually attach to your bumper. So you stick it down inside the shoe, like so. Work your jack down. Okay, and then you're gonna line it up with your slot, and down here is actually a switch. So you're gonna flip this little switch up, which allows your jack to work in the upward motion. You're gonna find your coin slot. Okay. Now you could actually do this with your hand. I mean, you would get tired in a hurry, but get everything good and supported where you want it, and then you're gonna proceed with jacking up your car. All right, so then you're gonna stick your tire iron that I showed you earlier inside your jack, and then you're gonna proceed with jacking up your car. Okay, so that there is what you look at kind of like at a wider angle, right? So you're attached to your coin slot here. Your foot is firmly on the ground or whatever surface you're on, the side of the road, gravel, what have you. And then it's held in place essentially with the car. Then you would come over here, you know, loosen your lug nuts, take your tire off, put your new tire back on, start your lug nuts, get them all on kind of hand tight. If you got to, use your tire iron to get them on as tight as you can. Then you would come back over here and you'd flip this switch again. So you'd go down and then you would just essentially jack in reverse. So you're gonna push down and keep a good hold on this thing because it will walk away from you. Any of you who've done this in the past, back in the 70s and 80s, know this thing would go and the car goes straight down. So make sure you catch every click good. And down you go. Pull your jack away. Lay it down because you don't want it to fall and crack you in the back of the knee. I've done that and it hurts like you wouldn't believe. You're gonna come back over here, get all your lug nuts tightened back down. I know I've got a couple of these loose, so I need, I need to make sure I get these tightened back up. All right, there's the other one. And then you're gonna slap your hubcap back on, put your jack back in your trunk. And I'm not sure about every make and model because as you guys know, I'm a Mopar guy. But most of the Mopars had a provision here where it holds your jack, your foot. Actually, your foot would attach to the spare tire. There'd be a, you know, your foot would go here and then there'd be a piece over the foot and it'd tighten down. Your jack and your lug wrench would go here and there. And then you'd be back on the road. But I thought it'd be kind of cool to bring in for a little video like that. I've seen a lot of it in the comments. People asking, one, you know, what is that tool? Two, how did you use it? So I wanted to kind of jump in with you and show you that real quick. Now, another fun fact is if you were really handy and in a bind and you were really good with a set of flathead screwdrivers or tire irons even, you could take a tire, your tire that is flat, and you could break this tire down using the weight of the car and this shoe to break the beads down on your tire. And with a couple of tire irons, take your tire off, put a new one on, and I don't know what you do with air. You'd have to walk it to a service station or something. But I mean, there was a lot of tricks you could use with those. Now keep in mind as well, as those things are prone to failing. I mean, if you didn't have the car perfectly level or your emergency brake set or the tire chalked or whatever, those have been known, the car's been known to roll forward and then jack and all go. And they've been known to fail. So that may be the reason why we have the jacks like we have today. But anyway, I just wanted to get in there and show you that real quick. It's one of my little daily videos because we're doing daily content right now. So I think that'd be pretty cool to just to answer some of the questions that are in the comments and, you know, get down here and work off some of this snack cake belly. I mean, good night. It's starting to grow, if you know what I'm saying. So anyway, quick little video for everybody. I appreciate you watching. The U-Haul load of hot mess parts are here. So well, they're not in here. We have them in storage here in town. So as soon as we get a little more room, we will get those over here in the order in which we need them. Because if I'm being honest, it was a heck of a lot more than I ever thought. Anywho, that's going to be the end of this episode. I appreciate you watching. We'll catch you tomorrow. BRG out.